大家好. How is everyone again? Now we are on, is this day 6? I believe so, of writing Chinese characters using our hand. Remember, why are we doing this? Because as we learn language, and particularly when we learn Mandarin or Mandarin Chinese, we learn it, or we should learn it in the four skills. We have reading, we should be good at it. In reading, we should be good in listening. We should as well be good in speaking, where good listening boosts our speaking, but we should also be very good in writing. And you don't have to know all the characters, but as a beginner Chinese, or of learning Chinese rather, you really need to have a grasp of the most basic Chinese characters. And this period, I'm taking you through 150 Chinese characters in a period of 20 to 30 days. And I believe we'll be done because we are when they are a bit easy, we are learning more. When they are a bit complex, we learn a little bit lesser. So today we are going to be looking at measure words. I'm sure as a new student of Chinese, you already know what are measure words. And we normally say that measure words are words that are used to quantify the noun. That I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Now, I'll give you a good example. In English, when we say a bouquet of flowers, you see, it's because we don't count one flower. So we put the flowers together and we say a bouquet of flowers. That word bouquet, if I would look at it in Chinese, it's a measure word. In English, we also say a swarm of what? Of bees? Is it of bees or of flies? A swarm of bees. Now, that word swarm in Chinese, I would call it a measure word. In English, again, we say a crowd of people. That word crowd in Chinese, I would call it a measure word. And so a measure word is like a collective noun per se. And mostly measure words will come after numbers. So in Chinese, instead of saying a cup, we'll say one cup, and between one and the cup, we are going to put a measure word because measure words come before the actual noun. So remember numbers. Number one is E, and then a cup is called beizi, beizi. So if I want to say one cup, I'll say iga beizi, iga beizi. So I'll use the measure word g in this case, you know, because g is a general measure word. Now, what I want to say is that there are so many measure words, like every noun almost has its own individual measure word. So you do not need to really know all of them because anyway, you might not even recall all of them. But it's always good to know the measure word g, and I'll be showing you in a while because g is the general measure word. Now, I want you to have a look at something. Um, I want you to have a look at this. Now, if you look, you can see my screen. My screen has got various measure words, and we do not have to cram all these measure words. For example, a car, its measure word is liang. So one car or a car will be 一辆汽车, 一辆汽车. If you look down here, we have a chair. One chair or a chair would be 一把椅子,一把椅子,一把椅子. So the measure word is 把. If you look just next to the chair, we have a table. And a table is called 桌子, 桌子. So one table or a table will be 一张桌子. So the measure word is 张,张,一张桌子. Now next to it, there's a pen. And a pen is called B. So the measure word for B is 支. So we'd say 一支笔. So we would go, we would look at it in very many ways, encounter so much. But what I'm saying is that it's important to know how to use measure words. Very, very important to know how to use the measure words. So we today are going to look at the at very common measure words, very common measure words, which we use in our first level, because in the first level there are those measure words that we need to know. Remember, we are looking at 150 characters in a very short period of time. So I'm going to show you the measure words that at least you need to know in this first level as a beginner. So as a beginner of Chinese, you need to know the following measure words. Now I want you to see this. So here we've got the measure word g. We also have the measure word kwai. We also have the measure word xie. And we also have the measure word ben. And then lastly, we have the measure word sui. So these are all called quantifiers or measure words, if you like it. Quantifiers, or we would call them measure words. So if we are to look at what we have the measure word g. Now we've said that g is a general measure word, and we would say, for example, 一个面包, 一个面包, 面包 is what? Is bread. So when we are saying 一个面包, we'd have the character, and I'm gonna draw. We'd have the character e for number 1, and then we'll have g, g, 一个, and then we would have the bread. I'm not so good in drawing bread, but that's my bread. So I'll say 一个面包, 一个面包. And in this case, therefore, the g here is the measure word for bread. It's a general measure word. And then the e is the number to show one loaf of bread. 一个面包. Now, then in this bread, guys, if your bread looks like the one I know of, bread has got pieces, isn't it? We have like one loaf of bread may have 15 pieces or 15 slices. Now, those slices or pieces, I would say 一块面包. That means a piece of bread. 一块. Now look at here. We have the word 块. Now this 块is a measure word that represents pieces, a piece of cake, a piece of bread. So when I am writing and I want to say a piece of bread or a slice of bread, then I'll say 一块 一块面包 一块, and therefore the word e here is representing one because it's one piece, and then the piece is the 块 一块 and then we have another measure word here, which is the word 些. Now this measure word 些, we mostly will use it with words like 这. So we'll say 这些, or the word na. Guys, you remember? We've already practiced. We've already, in our days of learning hanzi, of learning characters, we've already learned the word 这, which means this, and na, which means that. So when we want to say these in plural, like these cows or these people, we'll say 这些人, these people in plural. If we want to say those people, we'll say 那些人. And then we have the measure word 本. Now we say that 本 is a measure word for book. Like if we want to say one book, we'll say 一本书. So it's a 一本, and then the book, we'd have the book there. So 一本书. Okay. How that? Then lastly here, we've got the measure word sui. Now we use the sui in years when we are describing age, where the word sui means years old. So if I'm 3 years old, I'll say 我3岁了. 我3岁. San is 3, 岁 years old 了. 所以我3岁了. 我8岁了. I'm 8 years old. 我40岁了. I'm 40 years old, and etc. and etc. So now what we are going to do, since I have already explained to you the 5 measure words on my screen, we are going to practice them. So we have the first one, which is G. We write it this way. I'm going to take a different color. We write it this way: 1, 2, and then that way: 3. Again, E, R, Sun. One more time: E, R, Sun. So that's G. Almost looks like an arrow pointing on top or pointing up. So that's G. Now let's practice the character for Kwai to show peace. E Kwai Dangao, a piece of cake. So we write it this way: E, then R, San, Si, Wu, Liu, Qi. Again: 1, 2, 3, 4. Now just a minute. Take my eraser. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, and 6. Sorry, then 7. Quite. So eat quite. 蛋糕, a piece. Then I'm going to erase, and then we will do 些, 这些那些, 些. 我选择另外的颜色. I have taken another color. I want to make it as better as possible. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't it look beautiful? 写, or 再写 again. 1, 2. And by the way, guys, you heard I said 我在写. 写 is to write, but 写, I told you 写 is used together with words like 这些 to show those or these. 那些 when they are far. 那些 those, and 这些 these. So again, so we have let me just erase this again, and then we write it one more time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 写很好，非常好。Now let's go ahead and write the character Ben, which is a measure word for book. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, 1. Let's make it a little bit more better. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ben, even, shoe. Okay, and now to our last character for the day. Last character for the day, which is sui. Sui. So we have 1, and then 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6. Sui. 你几岁啦? How old are you? 我8岁啦. I'm 8 years old. 我在这边. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fei Chang Bang. Okay, so guys, so we have written the 5 major words which we learn as beginners. When you're a beginner of Chinese level 1, you get to learn ge, kwai, xie, ben, and sui. And I'm glad that you have now known how to write those sounds. I urge you to continue practicing your characters as a Mandarin Chinese language learner. But for today, that's it, guys. I'm glad to have taught you today. And so let's say together, 再见, 再见.